your roots? Where do you come from? Well, let's start with this kalo plant. Can any of you really guess exactly how old this plant is? Any takers? Anyone? 2 months? Well, that sounds about right. The truth is, there's no way of knowing exactly how old this plant is. Something interesting about kalo is that this is only a huli, or an offspring of an older kalo plant. At the base of every kalo plant is where this huli comes from, and it is called the ohana. In the Hawaiian culture, ohana means family, and this came from a family. Something even more interesting is the idea that an entire lot full of kalo could have all come from the same ohana. Now, I like to think of myself as the offspring of my mother. My mother is the kalo. And I hope that I'm able to really attach myself to some of her amazing characteristics. Now, most people say that they love their mother, but I truly believe she is an incredible person. I have a friend who struggles deeply with her self-love, with her body image, and with her relationship with other people. She's in a very, very dark place. And when she showed up under the influence to my birthday party, my mother did not throw her onto the street. She took her phone, put her in under speed dial, and said, "You call me if you're at a party and you don't know how you're gonna get home. You call me if you don't know where you are. You call me and I'll come get you." My mother is caring. My mother is compassionate for a teen that she did not know that well, for a teen that was struggling with her own inner demons. My mother puts herself before others. She puts the happiness of someone else. She does what is right in front of whatever she may be feeling. We've had a rough start at life. It started with an abusive relationship with my father. My father was a drug addict. And when I was 7, my mother realized she needed to remove me from this situation. She needed to take me away from my father for my happiness and for my safety. I hated her. I couldn't believe she would take me away from my own flesh and blood, from someone that I loved. And now, all I can say is thank you. Now, this idea of helping people, it's not foreign to our family. I consider this idea to be our kuleana, our responsibility as a family. My ancestors did the same thing. My ancestor lost his Lutheran church because he spoke out against the terrible cruelties that were being experienced by Africans and Native Americans. Another ancestor sacrificed her life and her home in order to guide people in the Underground Railroad, in order to take slaves to the north where they can live a life. Helping people is not foreign. Helping people is in my blood. Helping people is my reason. Oftentimes, kids are always asked, "What do you want to do with your life? What do you want to be?" I was never able to come up with a real job because I don't know. All I know is that I want to help people. The idea that your family is important to you is vital, but your family is not the only part of your ohana. There is another term in the Hawaiian culture called hanai, and it's the adoption of someone else that's out of your blood family, regardless of race, creed, color, socioeconomic status, or even age. My friend that struggled with her own body was there for me when I got onto a bus one day and I saw the decrepit figure of my father, his eyes completely bloodshot. My friend held me tighter and tighter as I sobbed into her shoulder, and she held me until the tears dried. This girl is my Ohana, and you do whatever you can for your family. I like to think that my mother is the kalo. I am the offspring, or the huli. My mother is the offspring of her mother, another healer. And the cycle continues on and on for generations and generations. But kalo cannot live by itself. It needs what I consider my friends to be. It needs the ohana, even if it's hanaid, the soil and the water, in order for a kalo to thrive, in order for a kalo to grow. Now, this is a 5-word poem behind me. It describes my roots, where I came from, and who helped me along the way. What are your 5 words? I know my roots. Do you? Thank you.